Many leaders have goals, revenue goals, career goals, growth goals, personal goals. But goals without vision can make you incredibly productive in the wrong direction. You can hit every target and still build a business, a career, or a life that you never wanted. Because goals tell you what to accomplish next. Vision tells you where you're going and why it matters. Today, we are answering one question: how should a leader balance long-term vision with short-term goals? And stay tuned to the end, because I will share a simple framework that can help you turn vision into daily execution. Welcome back to the Leadership Dilemmas series. My name is Bertrand and I help leaders think differently so they can build businesses, careers, and lives that last. Because lasting success doesn't begin with activity, it begins with clarity. And just so we are clear, if you are watching this video, you are a leader. So this video is for you. Here's the main principle. Vision gives direction, goals create discipline. Without vision, your goals remain an exciting imagination. Goals without vision become motion without meaning. Anyone that is serious about accomplishing anything significant needs both. Think of Elon Musk, EV and sustainable energy. Wangari Maathai, women's education and the environment. Steve Jobs, technology and design. Jeff Bezos, e-commerce. Tim Berners, the World Wide Web. Nelson Mandela, freedom. Mark Zuckerberg, connectivity. Billy Graham, revival. See, these are a few examples of global influencers whose visions and goals had significant impact on their success. So what is a vision? See, Dr. Miles Monroe, one of the most powerful teachers on leadership, defined vision as the ability to see what doesn't yet exist. But I would add this: vision also requires you to become what is necessary to build it. You see, vision is not simply about seeing into the future. It's allowing the view of that future to change who you are today and how you think, how you lead. It enables you to look beyond your current circumstances and really imagine something better. But please do not confuse vision with sight. Wanting a bigger house, nicer car, higher salary, more money, that is sight. Sight because your focus is on things you can see and touch, right? But a powerful vision asks deeper questions. What difference am I called to make? What impact do I want to have? What problem am I trying to solve? You see, sight focuses on possessions, vision focuses on purpose. And your vision should be far enough away to stretch you, but never so distant that it no longer guides your daily actions. Every great organization begins with someone seeing what others cannot see yet. That successful neighborhood store, that company, that family that you admire, they all had a key unshakable vision. And that's what led them to success. You see, remember, a corporate vision is never fulfilled alone. The founder, they receive and communicate the vision, but others help them fulfill it. Employees, customers, partners, communities, household members. That's why the vision cannot remain trapped inside of the leader's mind. It must be communicated clearly. Clearly enough for people to understand it, right? And consistently enough for them to believe it. Because when people cannot see the vision, they will struggle to make the necessary sacrifices for it. You see, I believe that the principles that enable us understand and create powerful visions to build successfully, these are not recent discoveries. They are ancient, timeless principles. And to prove this theory, let's look at how Paul, an apostle of Christ, gives us a powerful lesson on vision in his epistle to the Ephesians, chapter 3. Go and read it. You see, he says he became a servant of the gospel through the grace and power of God. Lesson number 1, vision calls us to service. Who does your vision call you to serve? And then lesson number 2, vision requires grace, inspiration. You see, our strength alone is rarely enough to sustain any meaningful assignment. That's a fact. Something bigger must fuel you. Paul identified the beneficiaries of his vision, and those were the Gentiles. This brings us lesson number 3. A vision has a clear beneficiary. And if you're the only beneficiary of your vision, then remember, ambition and greed can corrupt your foresight. Someone else has to be better off when your vision is fulfilled. And Paul also explained the purpose of his assignment: to make known the mystery of Christ to the Gentiles. That's lesson number 4. Vision has purpose. Purpose is what gives meaning to the sacrifice. Purpose is what will strengthen you to continue. And finally, Paul asks believers to not be discouraged by his suffering. Why? Because his suffering served a greater call. You see, his focus was on the future impact of his service, right? And that gave him the right perspective on struggle. Lesson number 5, vision gives perspective. It will help you push through implementation challenges and overcome discouragement, because it's not always going to be smooth. Paul wrote this almost 2,000 years ago. And if you carefully examine the vision for any successful company or endeavor, you'll see that these lessons are still applicable today. Is it Proverbs 29:18? I love it. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Why? Because vision does not simply create direction. Vision creates discipline. And anyone without discipline will eventually exhaust themselves, moving aimlessly, tossed around by the wind. Because discipline is restrictive. You see, when you're disciplined, you can't go everywhere, do everything, be all things to all people. Think of any visionary leader that you respect and try to get on their calendar. It's usually not easy. You see, a person with a strong vision often lives a narrow life. It's not because they're arrogant. It's because they're intentional with their time, money, and energy. Vision will help you say no. You will say no to distractions. You will say no even to attractive opportunities that lead you in the wrong direction. You will say no to short-term gratification, especially if it compromises your long-term purpose. The clearer the vision, the easier decision-making becomes. But vision alone is not enough. You cannot execute a 10-year, 15, 20-year vision, 5-year vision, 3-year vision in one day. That's where smart goals become powerful. Vision answers where, meanwhile the goals will answer how. Your vision should be specific enough to create clarity, smart enough to create accountability, achievable enough to drive progress, relevant enough to remain connected to the vision, and time sensitive enough to move you from dreaming to doing. Smart goal. And every goal should answer one key question: how does this support my vision? If it doesn't, don't do it. Even if it feels good, if it is not strategic, it may not be beneficial to what you are building. Now, here's a framework I use to approach vision in my personal life and with my clients. And it can be applied at a macro level if you're establishing a vision for your company, for your life, or at the micro level, which is when you're establishing vision for shaping company culture or making household decisions. First, you have to see it clearly define the future you're trying to create. Next, you have to say it, communicate it until it becomes clear to you and to the people that are responsible for helping you fulfill it. Then structure it. Develop a clear strategy that measures priority. Schedule it, that turns those priorities into daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual actions. Finally, sustain it. Remain disciplined. You see, whether progress is slow, whether there are difficulties, if you fall off track, don't waste time being hard on yourself. Simply get back to work. Remember, vision will create the direction, goals will create strategy, but consistency, that's the sustenance that produces transformation. And transformation is what eventually brings results. Vision changes more than your destination. It will change your identity. You do not simply accomplish the vision, you become the kind of person capable of carrying it. The disciplines you develop you, the setbacks mature you, the waiting strengthens you, the test prepares you for the testimony, and the responsibility that prepares you for the reward. So remember Paul's lessons and ask yourself these important questions. Who am I called to serve? What fuels me? Who benefits from my service? What purpose does that benefit fulfill? And am I willing to walk through the wilderness to play my part in bringing this vision to life? You see, whether you're developing a business vision or a personal vision, the process will transform the leader first and then everyone who genuinely connects to it. Remember, vision gives long-term direction, goals create short-term discipline, and consistency produces transformation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week as we continue the Leadership Dilemmas series with milestone recognition versus year-end recognition at work and at home. See you at the top. I want to thank you all for watching this video today. We review the stats and see that most of the people that watch repeatedly do not subscribe. Please, we are trying to get to a 50% retention rate from a subscription perspective. You could help us by liking, sharing, subscribing. It allows this channel to grow, and it allows new business owners, refined business owners, people who are looking to scale and are looking for information, to get the information that they need. Recording today's video was challenging. I had a long day, a difficult day, and I was a few minutes away from canceling. But then I remembered that there was someone that was looking forward to this information because of a current challenge they're going through. New promotion and trying to figure out, transitioning from a role where they were the ones being delegated to a role where they were the ones doing the delegating. And you'd be surprised how little challenges like this can really make or break our work environment, our businesses. So thank you for your support. I guess I'm inspired by walking the walk that I preach, where I say consistency is more important than perfection. And today I showed up consistently and not perfectly. And if I'm doing it, then in your business, in your household, in your faith, you can do it too. Bertrand Maimo, and I'll see you at the top. Looking forward to talking next week.